Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie.
And this is the show.
This is it.
That's it. That's it. All right. Well, see you later. Now, thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone, I should say, who has already supported the stream. We are in Hype Train level 5 as it is right now. 30% of the way there. And if we get to 100% of Hype Train level 5, as we have done basically since we got booted from the radio, we will be taking a shot. What are we drinking today, Carla Marie?
Oh, so the melon baller is back. However, last time we had the melon baller, it had Irish cream in it.
Okay.
But you're not doing the cream.
Correct.
So Seattle Cocktail Club made it a little bit different for us so we could try a new way.
Okay, cool. What do we got in it?
Mandori and Tito's. So we're going.
Wait, this had cream in it last time?
Yeah. Well, according to them, it did.
I don't remember that for some reason, but I'll take their word for it.
Oh, wait.
What?
Maybe the Irish frog they were going to give us had Mandori and Irish cream. Now it's a melon baller?
That makes more sense.
Again.
Because the Irish cream and the Midori, because Midori is green, right?
Yeah.
So the cream and the green would make it sound like an Irish frog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because when we picked it up on Friday, I was like, by the way, Anthony can't have cream.
Yeah.
And then they had to switch it up. So then that makes sense. So we're back to the melon baller.
Okay.
An oldie but a goodie.
Look at that. Yeah, how would you describe Midori, Carla Marie?
Is it a liqueur?
I guess we'll have to look that up, huh?
It's green, which is fun. You don't really drink it on its own.
So what's funny is we might be representing it's a liqueur. It's green. It's very green. Like toxic sludge green.
Like slime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a liqueur.
The interesting thing is we are going to be possibly representing Seattle Cocktail Club and Seattle Cocktail Week and Carnival of Cocktails with our friends at King 5, not this coming Monday, or not today, next Monday.
Yeah, we're TBD. But...
And I don't know anything about anything.
I mean, I don't know shit about...
Yeah.
We already do represent Seattle Cocktail Club and Seattle Cocktail Week and Carnival of Cocktails.
Yes, but it's different when you're on TV talking about their events and, bless you, and
Thank you.
different types of cocktails. Like, I can tell people how fun their events are because I've been to them, and that's easy.
Yeah, but I do this every day.
What do you mean you do?
Make the drinks.
I guess you do. You don't do it like a cool cocktail waitress or waiter, though.
But didn't we decide that you were going to make the drinks and I was going to talk?
Oh, that sounds like a not so great idea. God bless you, by the way. I don't know if I said that.
Thank you.
Moving on. We are at 47% of the hype train. Rebecca in Jacksonville, thank you very much for that resub. Appreciate that. Otherwise, outside of the hype train and taking our shot, hopefully, within the next minute, because once that hype train ends, that is it. We do have the Zach Braff interview. That is up on YouTube.
We're talking about that now or when the hype train
We
is?
can talk about it now. We can't just wait here for the hype train. It's a whole minute of just sitting here.
Sure we can.
No, don't be weird.
So when we left here on Thursday, I was going to interview Zach Braff about the movie that we saw the night before, which is A Good Person. He wrote and directed it, all filmed in New Jersey. Zach Braff, also born and raised in New Jersey.
South Orange.
So it was mind-boggling, okay?
Oh, look, a lot of people said they watched it already. Gretchen from Iowa said she watched it, and I think I saw, who else? Where was it? Martha said the interview was so good.
Thank you.
Also, thank you to Jen and Lisa, and I think we had something else, or just those two, for pushing us over the threshold to hype train level 5. So we'll take that shot in a second.
Is it Sonali who just said it didn't feel like an interview? It felt just like hanging out with friends, and
that's the goal.
That's always the goal. And I actually did feel weird using the word interview when I was like typing it out and some stuff. I wanted to use like conversation or chat. I don't know. I didn't like using the word interview, but I went with it. So we get to the interview spot and we're waiting. We set things up. And Zach was at a previous interview.
He was with Fox 13, I believe.
He comes walking in and he says to me, "Oh my God, I was just watching your video. So cute. Sorry, I'm not Jennifer Aniston. I love that you did that for her." And we went,
That was wild.
Because I tagged him in it and he saw it.
And I want to add this, and thank you also to Unicorn Cindy who gifted 5 community subs. Appreciate that. I don't want to gloss over that. The craziest part for me was when he said that, because he was on his way to the interview with some of our friends, with some of our friends who work for the movie company that set this all up. So I assumed that one of them who follows us, because I follow at least two of them on Instagram, I assumed one of them saw the video and played it for him while they were in the car to like prep him, because sometimes that's normal.
Yes.
Right? Like, oh, this show talked about you here, or check out this clip. So while we were waiting for our car at the hotel valet, and the movie people were doing the same thing, I said, all right, which one of you guys played the video for him? And I believe it was our friend Ashley who said, no, I was in the back seat and I just started hearing your voices. And Zach turned to them and said, are these like Seattle influencers?
Yeah.
And that's when they told him, no, those are the people. Well, yes. And those are the people that you're about to go interview with. So he watched that all on his own because you tagged him.
So him walking in and saying that to me completely threw me, but in a good way.
Oh,
I was just like, okay, it's normal. So I'm like, hey, we're from Jersey. We sit down before the interview officially started. We mentioned that Anthony was from Seton Hall.
Go Hall.
And he was like, yeah, they wouldn't let us film on campus. I was like,
Boo
yeah,
Hall.
because they suck. So it was like, we chatted a bit before we started. So then the interview starts, and he was just so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
So good. Like, so down to earth, so normal, so friendly. And then the interview ended. I was so mad it wasn't still rolling. He's like, you are so good. You should have your own talk show. And I was like, I put that in my pocket. I've had it with me all weekend. But then I said to Anthony, I'm like, do you think he meant like I should have my own talk show like Ellen, Oprah, or like we should have our own show not knowing what we do?
Probably like Ellen or Oprah.
All right, that's what I was hoping. Then as he was about to leave, I forgot I wanted to ask him about Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait. You grew up in New Jersey. Did you like listen to Z100, Elvis Duran in the morning show?
He's like, of course.
He was like, and we were like, that's where we started. He's like, get out. What?
And then he's like, why are you here?
He goes, why are you here then? And I said, well, we got the opportunity to host our own morning show out here in Seattle. And he was like, and I said on iHeartRadio, and he goes, oh, that's where my podcast is. And we're like, podcast. And I said, but 2020, COVID, we got let go. So we transformed to doing this digital and on our own. He's like, and it's working out for you guys? This is awesome. And we were like, yeah. He's like, wait, but you're dating? And we're like, well, we weren't, but we are. He's like, that's so cool. And I go, makes a great movie plot. And he was like,
yeah, and then he left.
And he literally, it was so like, not even a douche way. He was like, okay, bye.
That was it. That was about the extent of our, but I will say this.
It does make
it was an easy interview and an easy interaction for two reasons. One is Zach legitimately was very kind.
Yes.
Like very humble, very kind. I mean, all of the positive words you can put on an interaction with someone were in that interaction.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the movie is really good.
So good.
So, and that's like, that is really all you can hope for as an interviewer.
And having Jersey.
And the Jersey connection was good too, but there are times where maybe the interviewer's a little off. They might be having a bad day.
Okay. Well,
or the thing that you're talking about isn't their best work.
Well, like when we had an interview, what's the guy from Entourage?
Adrian Grenier?
Yeah, about sea turtles.
Yeah, that was interesting because that was the start of the whole straw debate.
It was.
Seattle was the first city to get rid of straws with his charity, The Lonely Whale, or whatever it was called. The Lonely Whale was a movie that he put together, but
yeah. Miguel, thank you for the 1,000 bits.
Thank you very much. Oh man, we're in hype train level 7.
Megan, if you hated the movie, would you have still done the interview? Yeah, but it would have looked completely different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I would have mentioned certain things. I would have probably talked more about the filming of it in New Jersey and less about the way it made you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, there are times when just because it's not that artist's best work, whether it's a song or a video or a movie, whatever,
they still did it.
There are still good stories that you can kind of unlock from that conversation. And the one thing we'll never do is like lie and say, oh, this is my favorite movie or my favorite song or something like that.
We'll say, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, go see this.
No, because that's also what we would say for this movie.
True. I just want to show the green.
That is very green.
It's like
That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green.
that's like that goes in your car.
Was Adrian nice? He seems like he'd be either super nice or a douche. It was on the phone, but he was very kind. I got to meet him once at an event in New York. It was like a Barry's boot camp that he did, which was weird. But he's kind. He's very nice. I waited till he left the locker room to change.
This is equal parts Midori and Tito's. And
I didn't know what it was going to be like to be naked next to a celebrity.
I would love to be naked next to a celebrity.
No, I don't know. I just felt weird.
Me and Jennifer Aniston naked together.
He also, like, not that it would have made it better if he was naked, but like,
Tito's.
He also, I think, just grabbed a shirt or something and left. So it would have been weird for me just to be standing there naked next to the guy and not him.
Yeah, but then now you have this stupid story. You could be like, I was naked next to Adrian Grenier.
Is that a good story, though?
Yeah. Because I'd be like, did you guys film a movie together?
Nope.
Okay, wait. There was something I was going to say about Zach Braff. And I forgot because you started talking about...
No, I continued talking. I didn't start talking. Thank you, though. But to Nail Artist, who had asked what is in the drink, one last time before we take the shot, Carla Marie?
It is Midori and Tito's, which is a liqueur and a vodka.
All right. Sounds like it's going to be pretty strong.
It is. I forgot what I was going to say about Zach Braff. Oh, God.
So Chris said he agrees with you, Carla Marie, that he would also not mind being naked next to a celebrity. A locker room is a locker room. And I understand that train of thought.
Let me tell you. I went to the LA Fitness in Ballard.
Yes.
As we know. I did some workouts there this past week. It's like I'm working on my strength.
Okay.
The old ladies are just as wild as the old men in the locker room.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit.
Can someone tell me why they put their bras on before their underwear? How weird is it to be walking around? Are they airing it out, maybe?
Maybe. But it's the same thing that, I mean, guys put on their T-shirts before they put on their underwear.
That is a crime.
Yeah.
That
Donald
is
Duck.
Jail time.
They're just Donald Ducking it.
I really thought you said Donald Trump for a second. I was like,
No. Donald Duck.
I was like, were you naked around him too?
I've never seen Donald Trump in a locker room. I don't think I will. Mainly because wasn't there something...
Maybe if you both do.
There's some quote from him about how he doesn't work out because he feels like we have a finite amount of energy and he doesn't want to waste it working out.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's
So
work for him. He's 97.
Something along those lines. Now, I also don't think Joe Biden's working out a ton. He's just falling off bikes.
I was going to say, he rode his bike. Obama had to be our most fit president, right?
I'd assume so, yeah.
Because I'm sure JFK worked out, but like, what did they do back then?
Yeah, but exactly. Fitness wasn't a big thing.
No.
And say what you want about Obama. That guy could hit a three. That guy, I feel like there were 3 or 4 different clips of him just showing up on basketball courts.
Yeah.
Hitting a 3 and walking off.
Okay.
And I know there was one random like political commentator on Twitter that came across my feed because the new Twitter is terrible. The For You page, just a bunch of stuff I don't want to see. But it came through, and it was some guy critiquing how all the past presidents, actually, he only did Obama and Biden, and their first, he threw Fauci in there. He didn't like any of them. And he critiqued how all 3 of them threw out first pitches at baseball stadiums, and then he compared it to DeSantis. And apparently DeSantis can throw a baseball.
He played baseball.
He played baseball growing up. I get it. And that's fine. It's great. I'm glad that he could throw out a first pitch, but it was such a weird way to be like, this is why I vote for DeSantis, because he doesn't, I think he even said he doesn't throw a baseball like a girl. All right, man. Good for you.
Okay, well, we clearly know that statement is problematic. But anyway, I think that in order to be president, you should also have to do everything of the Olympics. No, I'm not saying you have to do a round off back handspring and flip, but you should have to walk on a beam in a leotard and do a cheer routine in a cheer outfit.
I don't think there's anyone. that has run or will run for president. Sarah Palin, maybe, but I don't think there's anyone else that we would want to see in a leotard. Like, imagine, God rest his soul, imagine Joe McCain.
No, but what the guys wear.
Walking around in a leotard. Joe Biden walking around, Donald Trump walking around in a
The
leotard.
amount of skin that would be.
Who was the president that had to get like a wider bathtub? Is it Taft? Taft. Why do we know that about him? What a weird thing to know.
So effed up.
But I don't think we'd want to see any of those things. Jolly Russian Buddhist is right. I have seen something about Roosevelt being a boxer.
Because the Roosevelts have it on like one of their shirts.
No, but I think that was part of his, like, that's why they have him riding a moose too. That was like one of the
Love that guy.
stories about him.
Good old Teddy.
Teddy R for the win. You ready, Carla Marie? Cheers to you. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream. And cheers to our friends at Seattle Cocktail Club. We got a reminder about you, or for you, about that. Oh. Pretty good. Definitely a good, like, bar shot.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why it took so long.
It's early.
It was very cold, I think, and it freaked me out.
That was pretty good.
Okay.
I would definitely suggest that.
Oh.
What?
Finish your thought.
I would suggest that if you're someone who doesn't love shots and your friend's like, oh, we need a round of shots to kick the night off or to be our nightcap or whatever. It's pretty good. Pretty easy to drink. What were you going to say? You forgot something?
Well, I wanted you to play that video for all the people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The video that I came across. I don't want to go too much into it.
Oh, the fan video. Okay. Well, you keep talking and I'll try to find that.
No,
Carla.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
What email?
You can send it to, where are we? That one.
So when I tell you that I have never laughed so hard at a video that wasn't like my own family, several times this weekend, I would just, when I wasn't, I was like, I want to laugh. I'd put on this video, tears. I had to stop watching this video at one point because I had pains in my stomach and tears running down my face. And then like a few hours later, I was like, oh man, was I crying today? My eyes feel so puffy. Like what? And then I was like, oh.
All right, here we go. Let me pull this up on Instagram. Pause.
Anthony's going to pull it up. I thought it'd be a fun way to kick off our Monday.
On IG?
On IG, where all the kids are. Actually, no, where millennials are.
I think the kids are on IG as well.
Posting their blurry photos.
Yeah.
I watched a TikTok of
Here,
Gen Z teaching you how to make your photos blurry. I was like,
what? What do you mean?
They're like, okay, then when you're about to take the photo, move really fast and it'll be blurry. And I'm like, I'm putting it on this setting. And I was like, oh my God, stop it. So this was a trend during COVID because no one had anything to do. Where you would, if you had a ceiling fan, you would use like a rope or a tie, maybe. Tie it to the fan and then tie the bottom to a full plastic water bottle. Then you turn it on, so right now it's swinging. And then you blindfold yourself and whoever else is in the room, and you have to kind of guess where it is and get the rhythm and duck whenever you think it's coming by.
All right, so this is the best I can do on short notice with this video because Instagram's weird. So
is there sound though?
There will be. There will be sound.
This is,
I believe,
a gentleman.
I'm scared. Oh, what the hell? Is just what? Is some? Are you guys?
You have to duck down.
What?
You have to duck down.
What?
You have to think about when it's coming to you and duck down.
That first one hit me right in the mouth. What kind of? Oh, Jesus. You told me it was
over the chest.
This way. Which? Oh!
Why does it matter?
What the?
Duck down.
I don't.
She's good.
Nikki doesn't even.
You need a bigger room.
Nikki doesn't even have her.
Oh.
Jesus. Oh, there's more than one. How many bottles?
Why isn't he ducking?
Oh, that one got him. That tagged him.
Oh,
I just don't know why he doesn't move.
Nikki doesn't have her blindfold on.
Yes, she does.
Oh, right in the that guy's got a fat lip.
Oh,
Oh, right in the chest.
Nikki doesn't even have her blindfold on. Yes, she does.
Oh, right in the chest.
Oh, there's more than one. How many bottles?
she gets
I think if I duck,
Oh,
if I duck down, I never get hit more.
oh, that's picking up steam. Yep.
Okay, I'm done. Oh.
I don't know why that man.
Ow.
Her first laugh kills me. I don't know why. I don't know why he doesn't move. He doesn't
Yeah,
try
he didn't
to
move at all.
duck. I'm so like I never grew up with a fan. We don't have one, and I've
You don't have
never.
any ceiling fans? Wow.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well, I
next.
grew up with ceiling fans. Yeah.
Do you have them now?
At my parents' house? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we grew up, we didn't have central air for a while. Like growing up, we didn't have central air at all until I was maybe in high school.
Okay. Well, sounds like we have something to do at the next family reunion.
Oh, that would be kind of fun, actually. You got to put it on a low setting, though. Otherwise, you don't want that thing on high. That'll start taking out family members. Martha said, I have a fan in every room. We're Arabs and sweaty. Very true. I remember very vividly when my parents finally redid our upstairs, because we used to have that like wood paneling. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like that was our upstairs
had
for a
that,
long
yeah.
time. And that's because the house was built in, I think, 1902 or something like that. The house is over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Well over 100 years old. And what happened was, I think in high school, my mom let us, well, they were redoing the house, and my mom took all of us, me and my two brothers, and we got to pick out our ceiling fans. Like the style we wanted.
And what did you? What, like,
I picked a very classic ceiling fan.
there had to be something fun you could have.
My
picked.
brother, which I believe has been replaced since then because it was such a piece of shit. My brother Michael picked out something that looked like an airplane propeller.
That's cool.
And Justin, because his room was the smallest, it was kind of funny because he had to pick like a little gnome-sized ceiling fan.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Like the arms were shorter. I'm telling you, the arms of the ceiling fan were this long. It's still there. I'll check it out.
All right. Well, next time I go to your house,
Yes.
we're doing it.
Okay.
Do you have water bottles?
Yes. Plenty. My dad loves water bottles.
Well, I'm gonna have a talk with him.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
He'll listen to me.
No, he'll hear you. He hears everybody. Whether he chooses to change any of his actions.
I'll
That
threaten.
still hasn't
I'll
happened.
threaten him. I will say, George, listen. If you stop using plastic water bottles, which my parents use all the
Yeah.
time, I will
You will what?
post about your business on Instagram.
You've done that already. But yeah, ceiling fans, great. We do have to talk about some things that happened this weekend during March Madness.
Oh,
You actually watched a decent amount of basketball, which I know you don't really like.
I mean, not willingly, but it was fun.
Yeah. Princeton in the Sweet 16. FDU came close. They up until 3 minutes left in that game, they were in it.
Did you see the video of Princeton's campus after they made the Sweet 16?
Yeah, just kids in the library.
Doing nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing going on.
It's annoying when you see schools like that don't give a crap. But then you got schools like Rutgers, maybe yours, that care.
If Seton Hall was in the Sweet 16, that campus would be on fire.
Yeah, we'd be burning couches.
The whole campus would be just engulfed in flames.
Angela said I cried in Buffalo Wild Wings on Friday.
For which team?
Yeah.
Which team were you supporting? Gonzaga? Because they're on to the Sweet 16. So that's a good cry, if that's the case.
Could have been.
I'm trying to think of, there weren't any other Washington. Oh,
Montana State lost.
right.
I will say yesterday during the game.
Oh, her cousin plays for Montana State. That's why.
Oh,
That makes sense.
your cousin is Raekwon?
Not the chef from Wu-Tang.
Hold on. So yesterday, FDU played Florida Atlantic, International Atlantic. What is their name?
They played Florida Atlantic, yes.
And you know what? Even though our friend Becca went there, I don't like that school.
Why?
They're jerks.
Oh, because the dunk at the end?
That guy thought he was so cool dunking on a team that was a Cinderella story.
Well, he also missed.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Now, if you
He
don't know
should be
the story,
fired.
I don't think you can get fired. You could get cut, though. If you don't know the story, at the very end of the game, it was a back and forth affair until probably the last 2 or 3 minutes. And then FAU, Florida Atlantic, ran away with a little bit. And normally at the end of a basketball game, if it's relatively close, there will be some fouls. You try to stop the clock, make some free throws, so on and so forth. And with about 20 seconds left, I think it was, FDU, their coach, basically called off the dogs. He said, don't foul. The game is over.
Which is so not a New Jersey thing.
That's it. Well, it's also a respect thing for the fans. Like, if it's not an attainable thing, you don't keep fouling, because then the game goes on for another 12 minutes for no reason. And in that moment, normally, the team with the lead is also supposed to stop scoring. You know, you're not supposed to race down the court and try a slam dunk contest style dunk.
And then miss like a douchebag.
So it was a little bit of a sign of disrespect. Now,
But then you saw some little skerfuffle going on.
the coaches had some words.
No, he was saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Coaches didn't have
No, the
mean
FDU
words.
coach was very heated. And
Not
the
to the other
FAU coach was like, I understand. You're 100% right. That's basically what happened at the end.
I don't think they were. But some of the players were like, I'm not shaking your hand. And you know what? It reminded me back in the day after some games when the cheerleaders would have to slap hands.
Yeah.
We would spit on their hands. We never did, but they would spit, and you'd feel the
You
spit.
definitely did that.
I never did because it was so gross. And they would spit on their hands, and we'd be like, they spit on their hands. It was very much like that, except they didn't touch hands. They just ignored each other.
Yes. And then there was a guy, I don't know what podcast or whatever he does for Barstool Sports, but he had the worst take I think I've ever seen, at least for this
Because it's Barstool.
this bracket, this
Okay.
NCAA tournament. He said FAU went from a likable Cinderella to the most hated team in
FAU?
America.
Okay.
FAU.
Okay.
To the most hated team in America. Like, everyone is rooting against the FAU.
I agree.
No, I don't, because Alabama killed somebody.
Oh.
There's a player on Alabama who was an accessory to a murder and has not missed a game. Alabama, without a doubt, has to be, unless you're from Alabama, has to be the team that everybody is rooting against. Do you not know this story?
There's a guy that, no, maybe I don't.
So earlier in the season, I want to say this happened. Did it happen in January or December? But earlier in the season, bless you,
It's true.
a couple Alabama players were involved in a shooting in downtown Tuscaloosa, and a woman died. And one of the players was, bless you, one of the players was kicked off of the team, right? Maybe two of them were kicked off of the team. But their star, Brandon Miller, was not. And it turns out one of the officers, because I guess they have their deposition phase of the trial right now, of the murder trial, one of the officers who was on the stand during the deposition said that Brandon Miller, the star of the Alabama team, got a text from the player who murdered this woman asking Brandon Miller to bring his gun, bring the shooter's gun to him.
So he's an accessory.
So Brandon drove the gun, picked it up, drove it to the scene of the crime. And then it's reported that Brandon Miller's truck also blocked the end of the street, making the victim's escape harder. And that guy is still playing basketball.
That whole
has
team
not
should
missed
be
it, had
kicked
not
off.
missed a game. And Nate Oates, who is their coach, in his first press conference was like, "Yeah, I heard it's just tough. Some of these players, it's wrong place, wrong time." It's like, no. That's not a wrong place, wrong time scenario. That is a you showed up to the place at the desired time on purpose
that you were told to be at.
scenario.
So now what?
So without a doubt, Alabama is the team that I think this country is rooting against, right?
I mean, yeah.
It's got to be. Like, when you murder someone, it's way different than just dunking out of disrespect.
I think just out of the fact that there's an investigation, the whole team should not be there.
Well, the reason I don't agree with that anymore is because, do you remember back, I think it was when we were in college, the Duke lacrosse team, that whole story?
Yeah.
Their whole season got canceled, and it turns out that, like, all of those allegations were false.
Not all.
There was no rape that happened, according to the court documents. All those players were cleared.
All of them?
All of those players were cleared, from my understanding. And they lost the whole season, plus their names were obviously out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you won't see that unless it's like a very cut and dry thing with video evidence and everything. I don't think you'll see that anymore. And granted, in the Duke scenario, the whole team was kind of involved because it was like a lacrosse team party or something like that. Oh, Mama Marie's in the chat.
Yep.
Great time for her to join. Murder.
Fred the mailman said, "My senior year of football, our water boy pepper sprayed the opposing team during the
Holy
post game."
Ohio man arrested for Ohio child arrested for pepper spraying the opposing team. Oh man. Cindy K says that Anthony is correct. All were innocent.
I thought there was something else that happened at Duke where they were not.
I don't know.
I don't know. I will say, I mean, it tainted the school in my brain forever, innocent
Which-
or not.
which stinks.
And I know.
And here's the thing. Duke doesn't need anyone's pity. Duke is fine.
Yeah.
Duke is they are well off. Their basketball team is usually pretty good. Their students are pretty smart. Their football team even is relevant sometimes now. Not often, but every now and then they get a good player or two. Duke's doing fine. It does suck for those students.
Yeah.
Because even if you weren't part of that party, even if you weren't part of that party and you were just on the team, it sucks to be associated with something like that, especially when you find out that maybe it wasn't true at all, you know? Let's see. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything in the chat.
I think I got it.
Okay.
A lot of bless yous to my sneezes.
Now, Jen, I will say this. Jen said, "I really wish I knew that ahead of time. I would not have picked Alabama if I knew." Now, here's the thing. Alabama's still in my national championship game in my bracket.
Yeah, like if they win, it's good for you.
Yeah. Like, the guy is still playing, and I still got money on the line in a bracket. So, he is one of the best players in the country. His name is Brandon Miller. He'll probably be a top 5 pick in the draft, if not a number 1 pick.
Unless he goes to jail.
I don't think he's going to go to jail.
He's an accessory.
If he hasn't been indicted or anything yet, or arrested yet, because he wasn't arrested at all.
I don't know.
They just went through the phone and they
Trump
found
paid off Stormy Daniels 8 years ago, and they're about to arrest him tomorrow.
maybe. I don't think they're going to arrest him. By the way, I just don't see it happening.
But he said so.
Yeah, he said so to get ahead of it and to kind of intimidate whatever law enforcement officials have to be sent to him to go arrest him. But I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. What else do we have in the chat? Okay.
You can't just keep putting things on the screen that agree with you.
Sure I can. No one's agreeing with you. Otherwise, I'd put it up there. Sorry. And I will say the last part about the NCAA tournament, the first round was a disaster for me. I did not do well. But I still have 7 of my 8 Elite 8 teams in the tournament.
That's cool.
Now, they've got to get through the Sweet 16, and a lot of them have some pretty stiff competition. But my Elite 8 is still all in there. 3 of my Final 4 teams are in there, and my 2 national championship participants are in there.
I have a question.
Yes.
So these dudes from Princeton,
Yeah.
are they like studying also? I mean, is everyone studying? But it's Princeton, so.
I mean, I'm sure they've got some. I'm sure the kids at Princeton have more difficult classes than the kids at FAU.
Yeah.
That is probably the only thing I know for sure.
But like,
that is it.
So this whole month, you don't go to class.
You go to less class, yeah.
They're not going back to campus right now.
No, they do.
That's so stupid.
They flew back yesterday, maybe this morning.
They should just have one.
And then,
it should all be at Disney's Wide World of Sports. Everything sports should be in there.
unfortunately, that would make the NCAA way less money. That also only helps Florida teams.
Okay. Well, we don't want to do that. I don't know. Then they gotta go to camp. They gotta go to class right now, knowing they have the biggest game of their life. I'm like,
I'll say this: in college, if you are playing in the Division I money sports, right? So that's basketball and football.
yeah,
I did play a Division I sport, but this isn't about me.
throwing a stick, anybody can do it.
Exactly, not a money sport. The school made $0 off of me throwing a javelin, but if you're playing a money sport, and especially the NCAA tournament, which is this nationally highlighted event, and you go back to campus as the Cinderella story, the 15 seed that is now in the Sweet 16, that is so cool.
But
even
imagine-
at Princeton, even though those kids were in study hall, they probably read the newspaper the next day, the old newspaper, like print.
Yeah, they still have one.
It gets delivered to their dorm room, guaranteed. The failing New York Times is at their door. Is at their dorm door. They know that these kids, these 11 kids on the Princeton Tigers basketball team, have done something that hasn't been done at that school since the 70s.
Okay, but imagine being FDU, like you're right at this high, and I need to go back and hand in homework.
Yeah, I think, but still FDU, even though they lost, they're not in the Sweet 16. They're still heroes.
I think that your school should have off the whole time you're still in the tournament. How
There
cool would
have
that
been
be?
schools
No
on
class.
on National Championship Day that have canceled classes.
No, I'm talking about you get off of class
yeah.
until your team is out. This
the
way.
whole time. So if your team plays in the Final Four weekend, you're missing 3 weeks of school.
Yeah.
I don't
Which is
think
only
that's...
depends how often you have the class. Not much. Eaton Tweet said that technically they have allotted study time and they travel with tutors.
Well, yeah, but they're still missing class. Like if your class is on a Thursday, I feel like there aren't a lot of classes on Friday, but if your class is on Thursday, you're missing it. Like Seton Hall, for example, they played, where did they play? Denver, the first round of the NIT.
Yeah.
And that was on Tuesday night. They flew out Monday morning. So they obviously weren't in school that
Monday
day, and
and
they
Tuesday.
weren't in school on Tuesday. They probably weren't even in school on Wednesday because they flew back so late Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. So that's 3 days of school you're going to miss. And Rutgers got to play at home, so that's different. Rutgers in your NIT game, you got to play at home on that same Tuesday. I wonder what happens with that schedule. Because you're still there, but you have team responsibilities at some point during the day. And what if that overlaps with your class?
Let me tell you something. As someone who went to Rutgers and had plenty of athletes in their class because I was in a comm major and they all do comm,
Yeah.
they get the most insane treatment.
At Rutgers?
And I didn't even go to like a school where they were that great.
No, but Rutgers tries to be good at sports.
No, I'm talking about every athlete.
Oh,
every
wow.
athlete. From soccer to football to lacrosse to all of it. They were all in all. My major was full of athletes, all of them. And there was everyone. I don't know why I didn't do this job because you got paid just to go to your own class, but you were an attendance taker just for athletes. So you would have to report back to the athletic department and say, blah, 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 didn't show up to class, showed up late, blah, blah, blah. You basically were a tattletale and paid to be a tattletale.
So at Seton Hall, we had someone in the athletic department would actually have to go. They'd almost like spot check you. Like one of the faculty members in the athletic department would go to your classes.
But as we discovered
randomly
the other day,
and check.
you have like 1% of the fraction of students that we
Oh,
have.
yeah,
So-
absolutely.
And 5 campuses. So no one's taking the bus around to go
That's
do
true.
that every class.
Also, Sonali said that Princeton just went back to school. That I guess they had their spring break.
I guess my
recently.
Rutgers spring break
That makes
would have
sense.
been now. But athletes get like, then they would get taken to, like if they were missing class, like it was just okay because there was a game. Like
Yeah.
it's okay to miss class. It's okay to make up a test. You can take the test somewhere else. Like there's just all these things. And I get it. I'm not saying it's not fair. I'm just saying to the people that are saying like whether athletes have to make up work or not, most of the time I believe they don't have to make up the work. As long as they prove that they're kind of ahead or not failing.
So
They just do.
here's where I land on this because I'm on both sides a little bit.
I'm not on the side. I don't know what there is a side for. I'm
Well,
just stating facts.
Because a lot of people in the chat are talking about how the education is more important. You shouldn't be able to miss all of that school.
Yeah, but no one's going to go to your school unless you have fun athletics.
If you are, Bryce Miller, for example, the Alabama student that we were talking about earlier, or I'm sorry, Brandon Miller. Bryce Young is the other player I'm thinking about at Alabama, their quarterback.
Okay.
Okay. If you're one of those players, if you're a top level NCAA athlete, and you know for a fact that barring injury or getting arrested, you're going to the pros, I do think that you should have an easier path in school. Now, hear me out. It's not because your education isn't important, but the concept of going to college is to enhance your opportunity in your professional life, correct?
Mhm.
Right? If it was just about learning, no one would go. But you go to college to up your earning potential, at least in theory.
I mean, I really didn't, no offense, I learned things, but did I use them in my work life?
You did a little bit.
But the experience, and being at the radio station is what got me.
Yes.
Not the actual education part of it.
So, and it's hard to figure out because there's probably a lot of athletes who go to college who are a little delusional and think they're going to make the pros, and they're just not at that level. Because, it's the top 1% of
Right.
those athletes that are going. And in the money sports specifically, in football, basketball, and a little bit of baseball. So what I think should change in sports is every school that has a Division I program should have a sports major. Now, you're not majoring in football necessarily because you have your coaches, you have all of the training and whatnot. That's different. But it should teach you the auxiliary things around sports.
Mhm.
You should have a little bit of broadcasting, a little bit of
Business.
coaching. You should not be able to, after your freshman year
Mhm.
of college, if you're a Division I athlete in a money sport and you choose to be in this this major, your core requirement should be getting your ref certification
That'd
to
be
referee
cool.
games and your coaching certification
And
to
personal
coach
training.
like little kid sports, like high school or younger. Because then at least you can take your experience and make money after college.
There are schools now that are doing analytics for specific
Mhm.
sports.
Yep.
And it's really for broadcasters, because if you want to major in sports broadcasting, and the same as like regular broadcasting, there's not much in-depth technical study that is done in college. It's a lot of the
Did
basics.
you say in depth?
In-depth. I don't know. Because once you get to your news station, your outlet, whatever it is, they're going to teach you to do things the way they want things to be done. But when it comes to analytics and studying that kind of stuff, there are schools that are teaching it now.
Mhm.
But I think you should pitch that. I mean, they have Beyonce classes. Why not have that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. In college, you could kind of study
Well,
anything depending on the college you go
you can
to.
also pitch independent study. I did.
Also, I want to point out, you put this on the screen
Yeah.
earlier. Eats and Tweets said the graduation rate for women athletes on scholarship versus men is staggeringly high. But I wonder if that's mainly because more men in the money sports, of course, can leave early for millions of dollars compared to female athletes. Because you also have to include female athletes
You
don't
can
even.
just read the rest of what
Oh,
you
okay.
the book.
What am I putting up here?
It Never Rains in Tiger Stadium is a good read on what happens to athletes who finish their 4 years and aren't drafted. So there you go.
Yeah. I
No,
would
that's
definitely.
really
That
good.
sounds actually pretty awesome. And then there was a question from Jolly Russian Buddhist who asked, I think, if the GPA requirement is dropped, and I don't believe it is. There are kids who will get suspended for not having a high enough GPA. It's low, though.
But it gets to there's a lot that needs to be done to get to that point.
Yeah. And you usually get put on probation first and whatnot. Yeah, grades are monitored. I'm trying to see what else we have in here. There we go. But I feel like too often we try to downplay how important sports are to some people and what their path is, right? Why can you get a dance major or a music? Why can you be a music major
I know.
and not a sports major? It makes sense to me
No, I'm not disagreeing with
that
you.
if you're a school like an Alabama, a UCLA, Ohio State, Texas, even Rutgers, a school with a huge sports budget, that should be an option for you. And it helps those players have a better life after the sport is over. You're still going to have your core curriculum, right? You're still going to have to take a certain number of math, science, philosophy classes. But why are you taking, advanced statistics if you don't care and you have no intention of using that down the road? Why are you forced into a major you don't care about just because you're really good at football?
Where you can set up these athletes the same way you should be setting up all of your students based on categories, is setting them up for the real world.
Yep.
And the real world is, okay, what happens when your sport fails? What are you going to do? What happens when media turns into, and I will say, Rutgers did prep me for this.
Mm-hmm.
Very much early on, we were learning about how the media world was turning away from your live team, meaning you had a reporter, you had a camera person, and then you had someone else sometimes from your staff out on the road. And we were being told it's turning into a one-man band. So when you're doing the course this semester, you're not only going to be on camera, but you are going to learn how to set up your own camera. Then you're going to go in and you're going to edit your own piece. Because this next, and it wasn't there yet, but this next world of media is you're on camera, you're behind the camera, and then your post-production.
Yeah.
And it did set me up for this, and they kind of did predict what was happening.
Yeah,
and
that's good professors. That's
Yes.
good professors that are not just teaching from a textbook, and not that there's a ton of textbooks about broadcast journalism.
No,
But
I have one.
teaching from not only their experience but where they believe the industry is going, and that's great.
That's why I want to be an adjunct professor
Where would you do that?
at Rutgers. Virtually.
Yeah, this is actually great from Lenny. He said even my daughter's podcasting class in elementary are teaching how to edit your own
Well,
podcast.
yeah, now it's the norm.
Yeah. It is crazy that kind of stuff, podcasting, vlogging, that's in like a curriculum now.
Yeah, that wasn't a, like, podcasts weren't a thing when I was in college.
No, neither was vlogging.
No. But YouTube videos were a thing, but vlogging wasn't.
Exactly.
No one was talking to the camera. They were just posting videos of pranks.
All right.
There weren't trends.
We are going to move on from the college discussion.
Should I practice teaching media?
What would you teach?
Well, I have a whole textbook. It's a little old, but
Media and Culture 11?
I wonder what they're on now.
When was the last time you opened that book?
Well, I forget why I have it. Steve Miller let me take it like a few years ago.
So why is it up there?
Because it's my favorite textbook.
So maybe we'll move it to your space.
This is my space. This whole house is my space.
I pay for half of it now.
Oh no, whose
You-
name's on the deed?
So then I should pay less than half. Is that the argument you're trying to make, Carla Marie?
Don't look at my red pants.
Weird. Ooh, this is a good question. Pamela from SoCal. How is the non-animal diet going, Anthony? Have you found
I'm
a
doing
vegan
it.
protein you like? We use Orgain. Orgain's what they sell at Costco, right?
Costco, but there's so many carbs in it. That's why I don't like it.
What do you mean?
The carbs
Compared
are
to-
high compared to my vegan ones that I have from Thorne and the pea protein.
So my cousin is a nutritionist and a dietitian. Is that the same? It's not really the same thing, right? And I had asked him, let's see, Julian, where's my text with him?
I haven't had.
He
Well, I've had eggs, I
suggested-
guess.
Vega Sport. I feel like I want to say Vega because it's vegan, but I want to say Vega because of our friend DJ Vega. So VEGA Sport, he said
Guys.
to try. So I'm going to go pick that up today.
This is why you need to go to Rutgers and study media.
What does that say? Oh, is that Frozen?
All right, so
That's why?
this is clearly
Did
not
you
the
watch
edition
Frozen?
that I had when I was in college. This is from after.
Oh, yeah. So why the hell do you have this?
Because Steve Miller gave it to me. It's the newest. It was the newest edition. It's got Seinfeld, the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which I actually recently talked about on the Morning Show podcast.
Why?
I forget what it was about, but it was something. Oh,
Great story.
when I was talking about the Writers Guild
Okay.
thing.
So what are you trying to do now?
Well, I think it would be fun if I taught a lesson.
Okay, so why don't you learn something first, then come and teach us instead of just flipping through the pages like a substitute teacher that just showed up?
So we'll do it from the beginning, though.
You do whatever you want.
I'm having deja vu.
What are the chapters? Go back. Do you know what the chapters are?
What? What?
Do you know where the chapters are?
In the beginning. Digital media and convergence.
Okay.
Sounds and images. Words.
Oh, is this one of those like old McDonald books? Sounds and images. So you'll
So
see
these
like
are
this
parts,
is a pig,
and
you
then
press
it's
the
broken
button.
down. I'm not going to go into all that. Then there's words and pictures.
Nice.
The business of mass media, democratic expression, and the mass media. Those are the 5 main parts.
What a liberal school you went to.
I did, but that's not what that means.
I know.
Oh, this had to be after 2016 because it's got Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Oh, let's see. Bree from Arizona
excited.
used Vega Sport. Renee said it's she says Vega like Vegas. Makes sense. Martha said she has some good recipes for me. This is great.
So, you have been eating. You've been vegan with fish, essentially.
Pescatarian.
No, but pescatarian. Don't they eat eggs?
So non-dairy, non-egg pescatarian.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been eating fish, eggs, no other dairy, and meat.
You haven't had any dairy?
And that Caesar salad, but I didn't
Okay.
like mean to.
But yeah, it's going pretty well. I've had one of the reasons I messaged my cousin for a protein shake, a vegan protein shake, was there's only so much fish that I can have in a day without going crazy. Because I'm not a huge fish fan, but there's a
They're a great band, though.
poke restaurant that's not too far. So I've been ordering from there at least every other day on average. And then my cousin George, I was talking to him when I was back in Jersey for my uncle's funeral, and he had mentioned that he does tuna, soy sauce, sriracha, and brown rice. Like over brown rice. So I didn't feel like
canned tuna.
Yeah, canned tuna. I didn't feel like making brown rice the other day, so I just went with tuna, sriracha, and soy sauce, and then cracked a couple crackers and threw them in there. It was actually pretty good.
It was a disaster, actually.
Well, then I went for a second bowl and dropped it in a brand new bottle of soy sauce, shattered everywhere.
That was like a 45-minute ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad. It was really bad. There was soy sauce everywhere, under everything, on top of everything, in everything, on the walls, on the fridge. It was everywhere.
Yeah. So that was fun. But Anthony then discovered my coconut aminos.
Yeah, and it's not as good as soy sauce, but
No.
it's fine.
It does the job. Do you guys like tofu? Said Pamela. I just bought 3 packs of it. I got some tofu recipes. I've had it before and I've liked it when I know I'm eating tofu and not thinking I'm eating mozzarella.
Rain from Washington said, Anthony, I wish I could bring you some salmon.
Oh.
My Alaska Native family has a very simple traditional recipe too if you want me to share. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely share that. I would love to see that and
That's
try
cool.
it, obviously. What else do we have?
I saw someone say you can have sushi, but didn't we realize a lot of sushi ends up having dairy? Like you got to ask it for without the sauce, without the.
So if you have nigiri, which is the sushi on top of the rice,
Yes.
like the slab of fish on top of the rice, that's usually fine. If you have anything that has, like, what is it? California rolls have that little crab salad inside, or anything that's spicy
Chili
usually has a
roll.
spicy mayo attached to it. So then it is not
Yeah.
conducive for what I'm trying to do here.
I'm all for it though. I think it's like making me be less bloated. All that chicken and the bird flu was killing my body.
I think the reason they were killing all those chickens was so you don't get a chicken that has bird flu.
I think I had bird flu
How?
from the chicken.
I don't think you did.
I was
Carla
eating.
Marie.
I was eating meat around the clock. I literally was eating so much beef that the thought of it right now makes me want to vomit. I'm never eating meat again, unless someone else makes it for me.
No, I can't wait to eat meat again.
Well, not in this house.
In this house, I will. I'll move. And then Erica P said the liquid aminos are much better for you
Yeah.
than soy sauce.
Soy's terrible.
I believe it. Soy sauce. What? Did you just fart? Or is that your cup?
I farted.
Oh, okay. That was a weird sound that cup made.
I turned
Or your
the-
butt. One of the two. And I know that liquid aminos are better than soy sauce or better for you, but soy sauce is so good. I used to, at my grandmother's house, because that's where I went after school every day. God bless you.
Thank you.
I would take little packets of soy sauce that she always saved from whatever Chinese food people had delivered to the house. And I'd just put it all over pita bread. And that's just what I would eat. Salty pita bread. But I knew it was weird, so I wouldn't let anyone see me do it. I would like hide it. If my grandmother went upstairs to change or whatever, that's when I'd go. There was a cabinet behind their kitchen table, behind where my grandfather would sit. That's where everything
so
was.
weird.
I'd open it up, and then I would eat it in the corner, like I was.
And now you
a
eat
criminal.
cottage cheese and salsa on this live stream.
Yep. Yeah. Now I'm not concerned about any of my weird food habits. I'll eat what I want. If I like it, I'm eating it. All right. Well, Carla Marie. Oh wow, yawning.
I don't
Yawning
know.
on
I
the
was like
stream.
trying not to sneeze and then I yawned.
We invite people here every day. You talk about how wild and crazy it is when you're like, "Oh, come watch our stream on our podcast."
Never said it's wild.
You're like, "It's so crazy. You never know what's gonna happen."
It's
you
true.
And you show up here and
Well, the yawn came out because I was trying to not sneeze and then I don't know what happened.
it's a weird thing.
I do love Royce and soy sauce.
Royce,
Royce.
Royce. You got some nice Royce there, bro.
Okay.
We're out of here. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We will see you.
Oh,
What?
I think we're gonna have an announcement tomorrow.
Oh, that is very true. Well, if once we know if this announcement is for real, if it's actually happening tomorrow, we'll let you know through social. Hopefully, the notification for the stream also will let you know. But we might have some really cool behind-the-scenes news tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your fingers crossed. Hope it all works out.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
There was also Carla Marie. I don't know if she's still here, but it was Jill's birthday. So happy birthday to Jill. And with that,
Goodbye.
goodbye.